Today's Daf is Masechet Sota Daf Mem Gimel. So we are at the bottom of Mem Beis, the last line on the bottom. So the Mishnah said that the Kohen tells everyone, V'atem Yatam Kain, the Kohen Meshochem Chama. He tells them, Ki Hashem Lekechem Ahoylechi Machem. So frankly, more of a Kol Kach Lama. Why does the Kohen use such a lashon? Why does it say that Hashem Lekechem Ahoylechi Machem? Why doesn't it just say Hashem Yimachem? So like the Gemara, Mnesha Hashem V'chol Kinuyov Munachem Ba'aron. The Kohen's trying to say that Hashem and all the names in Hashem are Munach in the Aron that goes with them to Machama. Chino Omer, it says of Chemes Vinyim in Bamidra Paraklam and Al Pasuk Vav. Vayishlach Oisam Moshe Elf Lamat Latzava Oisam Ves Pinchas, and it says Klei Hakodesh V'Chatzei Zator V'Yadai. So Zok Gemara, what's Oisam? Zok Gemara Elu Sanhedrin. Sanhedrin also going on Machama. Pinchas is at Meshach Chama. It's going on Meshach Kohen Meshach Chama. Klei Hakodesh is going on the Aron of Luchas. That's inside of V'Chatzei Zatrua Elu Hashefaris. That they blew, the shofars that they blew by the Machama. So before you see this pasuk that the Aron and the Luchas went out to the Machama. Zaktimar Vaiter, another brayso, Tana loy lechinam halach Pinchas to Machama. Wasn't for nothing that Pinchas went to Machama and Minyan Ela li paradin avi imay, to pay on this that the Midyanim sold Yosef, the father of his mother, to Mitzrayim. Shenemar, it says, Bereshis Parak Lamazayim Pasuk Lamavav, V'amadana Machro Oisay Al Mitzrayim. Sakti Gemara, affecting Gemara, Lameimra, the Pinchas Yosef, in Yosef Asi. Are you saying that Pinchas is a descendant from Yosef? Ba'ksiv, it says, in Shmois Parak Vav Pasuk Chav Elazar ben Aharon Lokach Lev Nois Putiel Loi Isha, and it says Vatel Lois Pinchas. So you see, Pinchas came from Putiel. He came from he was born from one of the daughters of Putiel. Like, am I allowed to Asi mi Yisrael? Aren't you going to say that when you say that Pinchas came from Yisrael? It's also called Putiel. Shapita Magal Mavayis Kechavim. And maybe he's not Mizar Yosef. Zakti Gemara Loi mi Yosef. Yosef was born from Pinchas. Pinchas was born from Yosef. And Yosef was called Putiel Shepit Bit B'Yitzra because he's mezal on his Yitzhar and he fought over his Yitzhahara. So frakting Gemara V'Haloi, when Pinchas killed Zimri, the Shvatim Vazanoisoi, and they said Re'isam Ben Puti Zeh Bein Shepitem Avi Imoy Agal Mavez Chavim. They're making fun of him. They were saying that somebody that has Avi Imoy is Fatim Agalim for Avodah Zarah. Yarig Nasim Yisrael, he's going to kill Zimri, which is a Nasi of Shavim Yisrael. So you see, they were saying that that was referring to Yisrael. That was Pita Avim Agalim. So it's like Gemara, Ella, he came from Yosef and from Yisrael. Yavua di Ime mi Yosef. If the father or his mother of Pinchas came from Yosef, Ime di Ime, the mother of Pinchas, mi Yisrael. Be Ime di Ime mi Yosef, and if the mother of his mother of Pinchas came from Yosef, then Avu di Ime mi Yisrael, then the father of his mother came from Yisrael. So the Gemara Taika came from both. The Gemara Taika, being a writer, came from both. Chsiv, it says that Elazar took Memnois Putiel, and it says it with a Yud, and it does not say Putal. So Trey, Mashma, there were two Putiim, there were two people two Putiels. There was Yosef and Yisrael. They were both of them was Negea, the Lashon of Pita. One was Pit B'Yitzroi, Yosef was B'Yitzroi, and Yisrael is Pitim Agal. Oh, it is our. So Gemara Shmamina, so you can see that Pinchas came from Yosef. Zok the Gemara Vaita, the Mishnah said, and the Mishnah spoke about getting ready for Machama. It says in Devarim Parachaf Pasuk Hey V'Dibru HaShoitrim Ela'am Leimar. So they said Mir Ish Asher Pana Bayis Chadash V'Loi Chanachai. So it says who's built a Bayis Chadash but he did not start living in it. Yelech V'Yashul Beis, he should go back to his house from the war. So the Gemara, the Mishnah said. So the Mishnah said Echad Aboyin Beis HaTeven Beis HaBakar or Beis HaEitzim. If he builds, doesn't have to be Dafka house. It could be a place to store straw, or to a barn, or Beis Ha'etzim to store wood, Beis Ha'etzaros to watch yayin or tfuah, Echad Aboina Echad Lekech, whether he builds it himself or he built, if he buys a ready built home, Ve'echad HaYorish, or if he inherits it, Ve'echad Shanit Matana was given Matana. Also, it says in Dvar and Perach Chaf Pasuk Vav, U'miya Ish Shanat Akarim V'Lo Yichiluloi. So it says Yelech Yoshua Lebeisa. He should also go back to his house. So who's that going on? It's going to somebody that planted a vineyard and did not, and wasn't Chal Kedushas Paris of the 4th year yet. So such a person, so the first year is Arla, and the 4th year is Chilul. The halacha is that the 4th year the Paris are Kodesh, and you have to eat them Yerushalayim, or to Mechal, it's Kedushan money, and the money you have to bring it to Yerushalayim and buy food to eat in Yerushalayim. So halacha is such a person also is Chayzer. Chayzer from the Mechal. Zakti Gemara, Echan Anetea Kerem. If somebody plants a kerem, which is chamisha gefanim, echan ateh chamisha line ma'achol, planted 5 trees of ma'achol, afilu mechamish zaminim, even from different chamish zaminim, as it didn't like kerem. Echan ateya, echan amavrich, someone that plants a new tree, a mavrich, someone that takes an existing tree and plants it in the ground, one end of it, that should sprout a new tree. Echan amarkev, that puts one tree into another tree. Echad Alekeach, he buys a planted tree, Echad Ayori, Echad Shini Matana. Also it says in Pasuk Zayin, Miyo Ish, Asher Eres Isha, he used Ma'aras Isha, did Eres, and V'loy Lekacha. So it says, Yelech Yoshel Beis, he should also return. Echad Ma'aras Zabasula, Echad Ma'aras Almana, Afilu Shmeres Yavim, even if he's waiting to Miyamim, Afilu Shamash Meizach HaMacham, he heard his brother died in Macham without children, and his wife is falling to Yivim, he's Chayzer Abalai, he goes back from Machama, and he goes to his place. Kalei Leve'elu, all these are mentioned. Shaimin Divrei Koyim Marche HaMachama, V'Chayzer. So they listen to whatever the Kohen says, and they are Chayzer. However, they do not go to their houses. Rather, umaspika mayim amazon, they feed the people mayim amazon, masakna sadrachim, and they fix the streets. So zok Gemara weiter. These are ones that do not go back to the Muhammad. Aboyna beishar. If he builds a place where a security person stands at the entrance to a city, or a chsadra, a hallway to go into a house, or merpeses, and a platform that comes before an attic that they go up on the steps like a landing, because it's not ready to live in, and it's not considered banabayis. Also, in a teya arba yilani ma'achol, if someone plants only 4 trees for food, it's not considered a kerem. It has to be at least 5. Chamisha yilani srak. If someone plants 5 trees, however, they're not trees that they grow anything edible to eat, it's not considered a kerem. Machzer tzgushasa, it's not a new wife to him. Almana l'koyin gadol, or if it's almana l'koyin gadol the saras, which is aser to him, or grusha l'chalutza, that l'koyin hedyet, it's also aser. Mamzeres, that was neither from Bias Chavi Krisis and the Sina from the Goyen, who came in times of Moshe Yisrael. Also Bas Yisrael to Mamzer or Nasin, which is also in the Sunnah Asar. All these Loya Chayzer, because it's not considered Bias Karam or Ish Chadasha, that's Mutter. Yehuda says Achaboy and Mayas al Machoinoi. If somebody knocked down the house, they built the same exact house, also Loya Chayzer, because it's not considered Bias Chadasha. Lezo Ima Achaboy and Beis Levain and Basharin. If someone builds a base Levain and Basharan, is a house that's not really a Dava Shal Kayama, because the land under it is not really ready to build a house, so it would fall down. It's not Shal Kayama. Zaktimar Avaiter. Elu Shein Zazim Kaimun, they don't move anywhere. So you don't even go to a place of war. Bana Bayis V'Chanachai, someone built a house and he did not live in it yet. Not a Karam V'Chilulai. Or he built a Karen, but he's Mil Machalan and did not finish the 4th year yet. It's a year of Chol, he's in the 4th year. Noises are Sasai, Kainis Yivimdai, Kainis Yivimdai. and he still didn't finish Shana Rishona. Shenemar, it says, Dvarim Perchav Dal Pasuk Hey Naki Lebesoi L'Shana Achas V'Simachas Ishta Shalakach Lebesoi Ze Besoi. So it's going on his house that he's been mechanech the first year. Yiyah Ze Karmoi, it's going on his Karen V'Simachas Ishta Zu Ishta, his wife that he married. Asher Lakach Lahavi Es Yivinto, he's coming to marry even Yavama. All these they don't do anything, they rather stay put where they are. Zok the Gemara Tana Rabbanon. It says in the pasuk Dvarim Perchav pasuk Hey v'dibru hashaitim, that the shaitim speak. It says the officers speak. So Zok the Braisa Yocha, I might think Dvarim Shel Atzma, they say their own things and not the words of the Kohen. When it says in pasuk Ches the Yasfo Ashaitim Ladaber Miyash Yare and all those things. Sorry, Dvarim Shal Atzman Amr. It's mashma the Shaitim saying their own things. They're adding on to whatever the Kohen said. So Kumtoy Sipsukim before was the words of the Kohen. So Amani Mekayim V'Dibra Ashaitim. So how you can explain this that it says V'Dibra Ashaitim, the Shaitim speak? So Zok Gemara, you have to say Al Karch V'Dibra Meshoch Mechama Kazam Daber. It's talking about the words of Meshoch Mechama. Haketza Zok Gemara. I mean, so for the Gemara, how could you say that the Shaitim speak L'Cheres Mevur, that the Kohen says it? Zok Gemara, Kohen Medaber Shaitim Ashmiya. The Kohen is Medaber, and the Shaitim says it over to the Am. So for the Gemara, Tani Chad says in one Brisa, Kohen Medaber, the Shaitim is Mashmiya. The Tani Yidich says another Brisa, Kohen Medaber, Kohen Mashmiya. The Kohen is Mashmiya. The Tani Yidich says in the third Brisa, Shaitim Medaber, and Shaitim is Mashmiya. So how do you answer all these steers and brises? Three-way steer. Amar Abaya, Ketzad, Vivinigas, and Shema Yisrael until the Vidibru Koyin Medaber, the Koyin Meshroch Mechamba speaks, and the Koyin is Mashmiya La'am. From Vidibru Ashaytrim, Yesha Shemana, until V'Yasvu, Koyin Meshroch Mechamba is Medaber, and the Shait is Mashmiya. From V'Yasvu Ashaytrim, and on, Shaitim Medaber, and the Shait is Mashmiya. So that's the answer of the steer and all the brises. So like the Gemara, the Mishnah said, Miyesh Shabana Bayis Chadash V'loi Chanachai Ein Li Ela Shabana Lokach V'Yarash, if you bought it or Yarashed it and it's given to Matana Minayin Tamalayim or Miha Ish. It doesn't say Miya Shabana, it says the word Ish. So it's Bimarba, all these other ways of getting a house. Also it says Shabana Bayis, Mashma Beis Megurim. Ein liela bais, minayin l'rava beis hateva beis habakar beis ha'etzim beis hatzara. So those also returns from the war. Tamalema shabana mikol makayim. It doesn't say asher. It says miya shabana bais chodesh lechanachai. So it says ashabana. It's like the Gemara. Shabana mikol makayim is mashma anything, even though it's not mamash bais. So yachol shenimar beis haboyina. Even types of structures are not ready to live in at all. The Gemara Talmud Loimar bias, ma bias haroy ladira, afko haroy ladira has to be haroy ladira. Otherwise, it's not included. Rabbi Lezim Yaakov Oimer bias kamashmoi, and he holds even in someone that's boina bias teven and eitzim is ein chayzer. Even though it's very b'di'evet for to live in, it doesn't count. Also, the Brisa Darshans, it doesn't say loy chanach, rather it says v'loy chanachoi. That's Masha's continuing mayit. So prat legazlin, somebody that stole a house and wasn't lechanachoi, that is not chayzer. So practically tomorrow, leimad loiker basically, you say it's not going basically. You say either basically, Ha'amar, he says, and later on from Dala that he explains this. It says v'racha alevo v'yelchu yashol beisoi zahamasiyarim averish v'yel. Somebody's afraid from the sins in his hands and he's coming back because he stole something. So Dr. Gemara, filatemi reisa aglili. And it's coming to Mayat Goslin, Na'if, we are going to Avat Tshuva v'Yoav Dami, a place where he did Tshuva and he paid back what he stole. That he's in that case he's not Shav Machmas the Gezel, and you have to come in Mayat it, and he doesn't come back out of his house. In fact, the Gemara Hachi that he already paid, so why does it not return to his house? Zak Gemara. because he paid off his Zinei, they should go back. After the Gemara came to Mekar, but Teres Gezel, Loy. Since Mekara, the house came to Teres Gezel, and Mele does not go back there. So the Gemara, the Mishnah says, so who's included in this? Zakti Gemara, Tana Rabbanon, it says, if he planted himself, Lokach v'yarash v'nitim v'tana the karam minayin, how do you know? Tamleim miya ish. Because it could have just said miya shanota. I didn't have to say miya ish. So ish is coming to be marba all these cases. Zakti Gemara, Baita shanota karam is masha gafanim ainli ela karam, which is 5 gafanim minayin l'rabis chamisha lani meichel afil mishar minim min alaminim tamleim shanota. Says first in the pasuk a lashon atiyah before kerem, which is coming to marba all ilanes, even though it's not kerem. Yachosh and marba and atiyah abo ilane meichel, even somebody that plants 4 ilane meichel and 5 ilane srak. Tamalema kerem, it's marba only what's similar to kerem, and the minimum kerem is 5 gafanim. So therefore, in these cases, are not there. The kerem wouldn't be included. Lesbi Yaakov Aimer kerem kamashmoyes mash dafkin gafanim. However, on other ilanos, he does not. He's not chayzer from the Chama. Zakti Gemara Vaita, the Bryce says loy chilel. It doesn't say loy chilel, it says v'loy chilel. It's mashma talking about dafka and a kerem. So we might prat lamavrich ulamarkiv. For those he's not chayzer. In fact, the Gemara went on Tanan says in the Mishnah said clearly echad tev, echad mavrich, echad markiv. He is chayzer. Amar Bzeira, Amar Bchizalei Kash is not fair. The Bryce is talking about Kavas Isser. If he's Markiv Isser, Amim B'Shein Amina, it's a Smayit, but like we said before, just like a Bayis Gozel is a Smayit. Therefore he's in a Chayzer. But Khan, the Mishnah says that Markiv and Mavrich, he's Chayzer, is talking about Mim B'Minoi, and it's Beheter, and that's why it's Chayzer. It's Zakti Gemara, Higher Kavas Heter Heichidami, what's it talking about? Ilema, that he was Markiv, a Yalda, from a young plant, which is still Arla, Biyalda, and another young plant. So the why do you have to be marber? Typically the boy meheder, it has to go back Mishum Yalda Rishayna, because he still wasn't Mechalat. Ella Zakti Gemara is talking about his markev a Yalda Bizakena in an old tree that it's already not Arla anymore. Why does it go back? Remember Yalda Shasibcha Bizakena Betela Yalda Bizakena. You see it's bottle in the Zakena. Ve'ein ba din arla, it doesn't have a din arla, and even though he took it from a yalda, which is still another arla, and you don't have, there's no din chul anymore. So in that case, for more, why is he chayzer? So when is he chayzer? Yirm lo ilam yalda b'yalda. It's talking about yalda b'yalda. So the kasha was this talking about yalda b'yalda. Typically, it has to come back. That's the first Yalda. What does it have to do with being Mavrich? Just the first one's a Yalda, so that he has to come back. There's like more, if it could go in the Noto Lahach Kamaisa L'Syog Ula Kairis. It's talking about the first Natiyah, he planted it as a border and to use it for beams, but not to eat its pears, and therefore its pears are not arla. The Tanan, because we learned in the Mishnah, Haniteli Segel Karis is no din arla, it's patam arla, so therefore it wouldn't be chayzal to that. However, if he's mark of it in another yalda, which is meant to eat for achila of its pears, and it's chayv and arla. So that would be the chiddush. Sakti Gemara, Maishna yalda b'zakena that we said before, the bottle, it's bottle, Maishna yalda b'yalda, and a yalda and another yalda, the loy bottle, why is it not bottle, it's still chayv and arla? Why is it different? So like the Gemara, Hasan b'zakena by zakena imam lechala lavas mehederi. If he changes his mind, even if he's chayzer, it can never be chayv and arla, so the yalda is bottled to it. However, hacha by yalda that goes into yalda, which is planted al siyag imam lechala lavas mehederi. If he decides to change his mind and not use it for kairos, then it could go back to its original status and be chayv and arla, because the years of arla still didn't pass. Why? Because originally, mitchila, it was done for Paris, and this machshava helps just like trees that sprout about on their own. The Tanan learned in the Mishnah Arla Paragal Mishabez, Alu Me'alein Chayav and Arla. So you see, in order to Chayav and Arla, it's enough that you became for Paris, even though you didn't originally plant it for Paris. Because you see that even in cases where it grew by itself, you didn't do anything, you're still Chayav. So too, in the Taylor Siyag, if he changes his mind afterwards, it would have a Chayav Arla. even though the Chivarla wasn't Kozman that he planted it for Kairos. Frekti Gemara, why didn't you have to Zetzerai in such an Akimta and say that it was Mark of the Elon? And he was marked in Elon that was not the Lisiog into a regular Elon for his Paris. For Lukma, why don't you Zetzerai that he planted it for his Paris? However, he still is not Chayz because of it, because it's talking about Kerem Shoshnei Shutvim. Maybe it's talking about that the Kerem, the vineyard, belongs to two Shutvim. That the Elon is one person's, and the Harkava, this that he's bringing them together, belongs to another person. The Hai Hadar Adidei, the first person coming after as Elon, the Hai Hadar Adidei, and the other person coming back Machas Harkava. So Amar Papa Zoisi Meres, from this that we see it in Tzai like that as Muchach, that a Kerem Shlei Shutvim in Chayzon Alay Meracham Alchama. You see that they're not Chayzer Meracham Alchama. So Frakti Gemara, Maishna, why is Kerem Shutvim different from the case of Chamisha Achin or Meis Achem Mehem Alchama? One of them died without kids, and his wife falls even to all the brothers that we learned later on, Memdal and Ralph, the Kulan Chayz, and they all go back. So the Gemara Hassam is talking about Yivam Kol Chad V'Chad Karina Bei Ishtar. Each one of the brothers could be called this potential Yavama's wife, because maybe he's a Yavam, so therefore he has a right to be Chayzer. But Hacha, the Kerem Shot Kol Chad V'Chad like Karina Bei. The Kerem is not called each person's Kerem. That's a Yuchat to him, because each Geffen is Yuchat to both of them. So therefore they're not Chayzer. That's the difference. So another teretz. Why if he's marking the Elon, it's not Chayzer Machmas the first Elon, and Nachman Yitzchak Amar, but Mavrich Elon b'Yerik. It's talking about that he was Mavrich Elon in a Yerik, and he's not Chayzer because of the Yerik there's no Arl on the Yerik, and even though normally he's not Chayzer al Sakarvas Isser, over here in this case it's not Akarvas Isser, but Haitana, who, and the Tana it's matter, the Tanya Mavrich Elon b'Yerik, B'Shimon Leo matter, B'Shimon Leo said it's mutter to do, B'Shimon Yehuda ben Gamda ish Kvar Akoy, and Chacham Aser. And because according to Reb Shimon Gamliel, it's a Hakravas Heter, so therefore you'll be Chayzer Allah in this case. Zok the Gemara, another teretz from the Mishnah of the Brisa, the theory we had in the Mishnah of the Brisa, if Mavrich is Chayzer, Ki Aser Abdimi Abdi said, Amar Rabbi Yochanan said, this in the Brisa that you're not Chayzer is Mani, whose sheet is going like Reb Lezman Yaakov, that we said before, the Brisa. He. Belazma Yaakov. It's going Shitas Belazma Yaakov. So like Gemara, Loyamar Belazma Yaakov. I can tell you Belazma Yaakov didn't say Hassam. Loyamar Belazma Yaakov Hassam. And just like Belazma Yaakov said over there, Kerem's Kamashmoi, that Dafka Gafanim, and not Ilonoi, so Hachanami, not the Kamashmoi, they teya in Mavrach Yaakov is Loy. Even Markova Saker is not Chayzer, but the Mishnah is not Chacham, that even Mavrich and Markov he's Chayzer. Zok Gemara weiter, Ki Aser Avdim Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Belazma Yaakov, Yalda Pchusa Metevach, and a tia of a Yalda that's less than a Tefach, it's not going to grow higher than a Tefach. Chayeves Ba'arla Kol Shanei says, Chayev and Arla all its years Midrabanan, the Mischazik about Shata, because it always looks like it's 2 years old, and the people see someone eating it is going to say it's eating pears of arla. And say pears of arla is mutter. It's like the Gemara and Hani Mili that it's aser. Dafka it's shnaim keneged shnaim. Va'achas yoytza zanav. Dafka it's two netias and two netias. And there's one coming out from the middle. Aval kulei kerem, of a whole entire vineyard of short trees, there weren't goods to asa them, because kala islay. There's a kala that's a kerem, it's and everyone knows that it's going to be older trees. It's a lot of them. Kiyaser Avdimi Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Belazma Yaakov mace typhus arba amas lakrishma. A mace, a dead person with dal amas around the mace, you're not allowed to read krishma. The chsiv, it says a pasuk Mishlei Perik Zayin pasuk Hey lo yeg larash cheir feseu. So loyig lorash cheref iseo, one who mocks a poor person curses his maker. So it's as if you're telling the mace, it's like you're chapping the mace that he can't reach Krishma. Zok the Gemara. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Amar Rabbi Yochanan Shurmulaz Yaakov. Churgasa, a stepdaughter, Hagadela ben Aachen, that grows up between the brothers. Asura linos la'achen is not allowed to marry the brothers. The mischazik kechasayu, because it looks like it's their sister. And people are going to say that a brother married his sister. It's like the Gemara of Elohi, it's not Asur, Kala Isle Lamosa, everyone knows that it's not really the sister. Amar Yitzchak, Amar Yochanan, Mishram Lezim, and Yaakov. Leket, the stalks of leftover of Leka, Chikha, and Peah, which were Hufka Taniyim and Hefkas Pat for Meiser, that Ani took them Asan, Shasan, Begoirin, and made them into a pile. Hukpa Ula Meiser, Chayim Meiser Rabbanon, because somebody sees it, doesn't know it's Hefker, and that's why Rabbanon Chayim and Meiser. Amar Hula Loya Amaron, that's Chayiv, Ella Basada, only if he made a pile on the Sada, that people see it, and it looks like it grew here. Aval, if he did it in his house, Be'ir, then it's Potter, because the neighbors see it, and they just saw him born a little bit at a time. Kala Isla Mosa, and it's before him that he bought it from Hefker, so therefore in that case it's not Chayiv Meiser. Amar Yitzchak, Amar Yochanan, Shmuel Lazim, and Yaakov. Yalda Hapchusa Mitefach, a geffen, a vineyard that's lower than Tefach, Inim Kadeshes, not also by Noah's Hazram. There's Ram that are next to it, that's Klaya Karen, Bahani Mili, Shtaim Keneg Shtaim, Achas Yetzidanav, Avakuli Karen, Makdish, but if it's a large Karen, it is Makdish and Asas is Ram, because in a Karen that's Chashav, the Chacham Asad. But Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Shmuel Lazim Yaakov, Yitzchak Amar Yochanan, Seven Lazim Yaakov, another members of the Gemara, Mace Tevis Arba Amis Latuma, a mace is Tevis 4 arms around the Tuma. That somebody that goes around the down arms, the mace becomes Tami the Rabbana, but Tana Tuna, Tana said in this Mishnah, that this it says in all these practices of Mishaches, Chatzar HaKever, the Chatzar of a Kever, that you go into the caves of the Kvarim, Ha'im B'Seicha, even somebody that stands next to the Kever, Tahar, stays Tahar. That it's only a mace that's in a space that goes that should come in Dalad Amis, so you shouldn't come to be mahal on the mace. But if the mechitas between him and the mace, then there's no chashash. But hushi huba arba amis. But this chatzar itself, that's next to the kfarim, has to have a space of a shear of Dalad Amis. Divrei Bisham Bishol says arba tfachim. Even if it's only dal tfachim, it's considered shush la'atzma, whoever standing there is tar. But medavar amurim zakti gemara it's enough dal tfachim. Shepischa malamayla. If the opening of the chutzner is on top and you go down there by jumping down. Aval pischa min atzad. If you go down there with steps, divrei akol, arba amas, then everybody agrees you have to have a shir arba amas. So if it could be considered a shush la'atzma, and less than that, it becomes tamei. Fret Gemara klap elaya adarabba minatzad mitrav v'nafik. It shouldn't be the opposite. If the opening to that chutzner was minatzad, then you could just go out on the steps and go further away from the ma'or. The chur is no chashash should be mahal on the kvarim. However, if the opening is malmala, ef shaloi mal, it's not shaychim not to be mahal on the mace. So like the Gemara ella. You have to be mechalik this. Medvar amurim, that's enough adal tfachim, shepischem and atzad, the opposite. That's only the pischem and atzad, they're not chosh for oil when he goes out. Aval pischem al mala, then it has to be arba amis in order that there shouldn't be a chashash of oil. Bahani mili, and when do you say the person standing next to the kever is not tamei? Bachatzar kever, only the chatzar kever, the Messiah mechitzasa, because the mechitzas a mavdol separate between him and the kever, and no chashash of oil. A mace ba'alma, a mace that's there ba'alma in the area of the opening, toughest, is tevis dalad amis. Dr. Gemara, the only time is no din tuma b'chatzar kever is only if there's mechitza separating specifically between the chatzar kever and the chatzar and the kever. So there's no chashash oil. Mace ba'alma, stam a regular mace that's murich ba'alma, that's stam in an open area. So we say he's toifus tuma dal amas around him. And the din of that he's toifus dal amas, anybody walks with a dal amas with a mace, that applies normally in a regular situation where a mace is munach in just a random area.